When you think of the wealthiest athlete of all time, who comes to mind? A basketball legend? A soccer icon? Well, what if I told you the answer isn't some modern superstar, but a guy from the ancient world? Let's uncover one of history's most incredible forgotten stories.
Right now, your brain is probably flashing images of a modern superstar. You know, someone with a global brand, a massive shoe deal, maybe their own iconic logo.
And yeah, you'd be right to think of names like Michael Jordan, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Tiger Woods. They're billionaires, and they absolutely dominate the modern era. But when you adjust for inflation across all of human history, they don't even make the podium. So, who holds that top spot?
The wealthiest athlete of all time is Gaius Appuleius Diocles. Probably not the name you were expecting, right?
He was a chariot racer in the 2nd century. Think about that. No TV deals, no sponsorships, no shoe contracts, just a man, a chariot, and 4 horses. So how on earth did he become the richest athlete ever?
Let's start with the bottom line. His career earnings, in today's money, are estimated to be a staggering $15 billion. That's billion, with a B. To even understand that number, we have to understand his world. So, welcome to the Formula One of ancient Rome, a sport where winners took home fortunes and losers, well, they often faced a pretty gruesome death.
And the scale of this sport was just immense. This wasn't just a game, it was a citywide obsession. The races happened in the Circus Maximus, a stadium that could hold over 150,000 fans. That is bigger than almost any stadium on Earth today. Fans were fanatically loyal to one of 4 teams: the Reds, Whites, Blues, and Greens, and fortunes were won and lost on bets.
But let's be very clear, this was an unbelievably dangerous sport. Most charioteers died in their early 20s. The life expectancy for a driver was just shockingly short.
And here's why it was so deadly. A crash was a complete nightmare scenario. Your chariot flips at high speed, you're dragged along because the reins are literally strapped to your body. Your only hope is to frantically pull out a knife and cut yourself free before being trampled by dozens of other horses. It was absolutely brutal.
And yet, one man didn't just survive this chaos, he thrived in it. Let's look at the master of the track himself, how a boy from what is now Portugal became a true superstar.
Diocles had an incredibly long and strategic career. He started at 18 with the Whites, but it wasn't until he made a really savvy move to the powerful Red faction at age 27 that his career just took off. And this is key. He survived for 24 years in a sport where most guys died in their early 20s, finally retiring at the ripe old age of 42.
But he wasn't just a survivor. He was a brilliant showman with a very unique strategy. Instead of trying to lead from the front, which is what everybody else did, he'd hang back. He'd let his rivals wear themselves out, and then, on the final lap, he would surge forward in this dramatic, final dash to victory.
And this wasn't just for show. This tactic made him the biggest star in Rome. I mean, when Diocles was on the ticket, the stadium was packed, the betting was frantic, and the prize money was astronomical. He knew exactly how to maximize his earnings.
Okay, let's get to the main event, the $15 billion payday. We're about to unpack a fortune that was literally written in stone.
You see, when he retired, his fans and fellow drivers actually put up a monument detailing his career, and the numbers on it are just staggering. Over 4,200 races, nearly 1,500 wins. But look at that final line. Career earnings of 35,863,120 sesterces.
Which of course brings us to the big question. What does that number even mean? Like, how much is 35.8 million sesterces really?
Well, according to historian Peter Struck, Diocles' fortune was enough to buy a year's supply of grain for the entire city of Rome. Just think about that kind of purchasing power.
Or try this one on for size. He could have single-handedly paid the salaries of the entire Roman army at the absolute peak of its power for over 2 months. That is just an almost unimaginable amount of wealth for one person to have.
And that's how we get back to our number. You know, the modern equivalent to fund a major world military for that same amount of time? It's about $15 billion. Suddenly, that number makes a whole lot more sense.
This incredible fortune cemented a legacy in stone, one of out-earning, outliving, and outlasting every bit of the competition.
But here's what makes his story truly mind-blowing.
Modern athletes build their fortunes through prize money, sure, but also brand deals, sponsorships, equity, the whole shebang. Diocles, his entire $15 billion fortune came from one source and one source only: prize money.
So ultimately, Diocles' rarest victory wasn't on the track at all. It was the fact that he managed to out-earn the wealthiest senators, he retired a rich man at 42, he outlived his rivals, and he died peacefully. He didn't just win the money, he actually got to enjoy it.
Which leaves us with a final thought. In our modern age of sponsorships and brand deals, could any athlete today even dream of becoming a billionaire from prize money alone? Diocles' story proves it was possible once, but his legacy might just be untouchable.